Hi, and I saw that there were actually two two more two more of these, but maybe I'll just finish it now in one video. Let's try to be humane. You don't want people to wait, like sit around like, oh, what happened next. So yeah, let's try to finish both of these in this last video, and then I'll see what else I can do. Number 5, the last 12 boards. Yeah, we were leading by 47.5 imps at the halfway point. It's by no means over, but our team was playing in excellent form. Yeah, so Nick chose to have Joey and I sit out. In the third quarter, Nick noticed that the other two pairs had been hot as well. Yes, I would have preferred to have played, but Nick's reasoning did seem logical. Actually, it didn't matter if I had agreed with with Nick's reasoning or not. He was the captain, and his decisions up until then had been double dummy. Nick had the confidence and the respect of the other 5 members of our team, and none of us would have questioned his decision. It turned out that Poland outscored Canada 39 imps to 9 imps in the 12-board third quarter. There was a lot of people in the Viewgraph theater saying "I told you so," but the 30 imps we had lost had little to do with who had been playing for Canada. Poland had taken a few aggressive positions, found some fortuitous layouts, and won a few swings. None of that mattered now anyway. What mattered was that there were 12 boards left and Canada still out by 17.5 imps. Fourth quarter, Joy and I were playing on Viewgraph, where we would face Michal Kwiecień, Jacek Pszczela, the reigning World Open Pair champions. Keith and Gord sat down to play against Cesare and Adam in the closed room. This is about as good as it gets in tournament bridge, playing the last segment of a close match against a great pair in the final of a major tournament. I had been there before, but a number of factors made this opportunity especially exciting. We were serious underdogs, the press was everywhere, we were on Viewgraph, and it was my birthday. While we were waiting to receive the first board to play, I reflected on similar moments in my bridge career. In the World Junior Championships in '91, I was part of the Canadian team that had unexpectedly reached the finals. My partner Geoff, or did you just say Jeff? Hampson, yeah, he's actually very, very active now on Bridge Winners. I love reading his posts. And I had the last segment of a very close match on Viewgraph. We played well, but our team lost the match. At the time, I don't think I appreciated the gravity of the situations. I recall that my thoughts had been along the lines of what a great experience this will be regardless of the outcome of this match. Loser. In the Bermuda Bowl in '95, I was part of the Canadian team that had unexpectedly reached the finals. My partner George Middleman and I sat on the bench during the last segment of a close match. Our captain Irving Litvak had wanted to play George and me, but I was terrified and told Irving that I was too tired to play, an excuse. The rest of our team played just fine, but our American opponents, especially Jeff Maxtroth and Eric Rodwell, played better, and Canada lost the match. I'm sure that our team would have lost even if I had been playing, but I hated myself for a couple of years after that for being too afraid to play down the stretch. I swore to myself that it would never happen again. My current partner Brad Moss and I had been in this type of position several times during the past years. We lost in the finals of both the 2000 World Transnational teams and the 2001 Spin Gold. In both of these events, our team had not been expected to get that far, and in both cases, our team lost at the end. The good news was that I had managed to get over my fear of playing in pressure situations and played the last segments of both of these events. I could have won the transnational teams against a very strong team that included Adam and Cesare. Yeah, so maybe. Okay, on the third last board, if I had bid a slam, there was no way that our team could have won the spin gold regardless of what I did. Our opponents, Rose Meltzer's reigning Bermuda Bowl champions, just played too well that day. Brett and I have also had a series of near misses in major pairs events, notably the 99 Live Master pairs, which finished second, and several Cavendish Invitational pairs. Uh, yeah, that one is imp pairs. It's a little random, but whatever. Um, we always seem to come close, but so far there have been no cigars. Brett and I finally won a big event in 2001 where we were part of the team that won the Risinger. I felt absolutely no pressure when we played the last session of that event, but I suspect that was due to the fact that I had no idea that our team was in contention for the win. When the first board of the last quarter of the 2002 IOC Grand Prix was placed on the table, I felt that I was ready. I felt the pressure, but I was not nervous. I was ready to play. I knew that my partner would be ready to. Joy is a born competitor, and he had also been there many times before. Keith and Gord were new at this, but as far as I could tell, none of my inexperienced teammates had let the pressure get to them yet. I expected them to do fine, but there was no point in thinking about it. Whatever happened at the other table was out of my control. There was some cause for concern. On the first board of the fourth quarter, Jacek played in a vulnerable 4-heart, and Joy made a normal but unsuccessful lead of a diamond away from his king. He led the two as we played third and fifth best leads against suit contracts. Jacek rode, yeah, it's some kind of a voice thing. Yeah, I don't know. These typos are. Yeah, it's some kind of autocorrect thing. Yeah, road is RODE, ride, road. Rode is around to his diamond queen, and we no longer had any chance of defeat the contract. With his potential diamond loser taken care of, Jacek could afford to lose two trump tricks. He laid down the ace of hearts. In a few seconds, he was claiming 10 tricks. He had to lose 2 heart tricks and a club trick. We were minus 620. I knew that Keith and Gord would get to 4 hearts or 4 spades on this deal, but unless they also received the diamond lead away from the diamond king, it was not clear that they would do in 10 tricks. The percentage play in hearts is to finesse twice, but playing the ace of hearts in the first round is not much worse. I could only hope that our declarer would not think of a reason to reject this double heart finesse. Yeah, you can get the dummy once easily with the king of spades, but the second time, yeah, with the club rougher, so. As expected, Keith and Gord did get to 4 hearts, but since they play a weak no trump system, South was the declarer. As such, it was impossible for them to get a gift on the opening lead, but Gord made the correct and winning decision in hearts to push the board at 620. Canada's lead stayed at 17.5 imps with 11 boards still to play. Second board felt a little better. I was declarer in 2 spades. Jacek chose to lead the diamond. This solved my potential problem in that suit, and when I guessed the spades correctly, I am a big believer in 9 never. 9 tricks were easy. I had to lose 2 tricks in both hearts and clubs, but I had the rest for plus 140. Of course, like big believer in 9 never, I'm sure Fred is not just always doing it, but what he means, I guess, is that he needs a very good reason to deviate from it. I usually do 9 never as well, and my main reason is that I know that it's not much better than taking the finesse against somebody, but it's also not much worse, and you might as well just stay consistent and just do one thing, and then at least you're basically just saving some brain cells. Even if you're not winning imps on that board, at least you win imps by keeping your composure for a little longer. Like I see these declarers, they're like sitting there thinking for 2 minutes, trying to think like, oh, but he passed and then he passed, but then he bid this and he bid that, and try to count out the hand. Usually it doesn't work. Usually you cannot quite count out anything. It's usually trick 2 or 3. So you're actually just wasting time. I think That's my little opinion. So I like kind of just believing in I never. Of course, if somebody opened three hearts and the other person bids four clubs or whatever, and then you have a lot of information and you have some, yeah, you have something to go on, then sure, yeah, you feel free to override. But anyway, there did not rate to be much of a swing on this deal. 3-0 Trump is a very lucky make on our cards, but I strongly suspected the pause at the other table would play in two spades like us. Even without the friendly diamond lead, declarer can always guess the suit to win 9 tricks. Not surprisingly, this board was another push at 140. Canada's lead was intact. I mentioned in the last edition of this series that European experts tend to lead more passively than North Americans. Here is another example. I would have led a heart from Jacek's hand. Yeah, me too. While we're on the subject, note Jacek's choice of diamonds, the 5, the pause lead middle from 3 cards and small from worthless doubletons. Yes. I was hoping for 10 more boards just like the last one. Boring deals are very welcome when you are clinging to a lead. There's not much scope in this auction for action in the next deal. Michal and Jacek played in a normal 4 spades and I chose to lead the queen of hearts. I strongly considered leading my singleton club, but my trump holding and the fact that Jacek had big clubs convinced me to look elsewhere. Okay. Heart in hand. Michal crossed to the dummy in clubs in order to lead the jack towards his hand. The jack quite reasonably went up with the ace of spades in order to switch to his singleton diamond. Michal carefully won the ace of diamonds in hand to preserve a dummy entry in that suit. After cashing the king of spades, Michal had the second club towards the dummy and my discard made the club position clear. Michal won in dummy and claimed an overtrick for 650. He would take the roughing finesse in clubs to build an extra winner to take care of his diamond loser. My queen of spades would be the last winner for the defense. This felt like another nothing board. 4 spades was certainly a normal contract, and while it was possible to think of a play sequence that would result in 9 tricks for the declarer, it seemed highly unlikely that 4 spades would fail in practice. At the other table, Keith and Gord played 4 spades and took 10 tricks for 620. Canada lost an imp, but still led by 16.5 imps with 9 boards to go. Next board also felt flat. There was some chance that we would win by a win a medium-sized swing. Jacek and Michal stopped in 3 spades and did not really have the values to play in game. 4 spade was not a great contract or anything, but at least 10 tricks were certain on the actual layout. Yeah, the jack of spades just falls, that's the point. You cannot do anything, you cannot finesse against the jack because the defense has the 9 and the 8. Let the jack and Jacek won in dummy as I discarded the 4. Upside down attitude signal. The king enjoys ace. Enjoy probably should have led the ace of hearts at this point. I would have encouraged and we would have won 2 tricks in that suit to hold Jacek to 10 tricks for 120. Joy chose to play a second round of diamonds. Jacek won the ace in his hand and laid out the queen of spades. Joy and I both followed and Jacek claimed 11 tricks for 200. 2 of his hearts would go on down his diamonds and we would get a heart trick at the end. I'm not sure exactly what Jacek and Michal's bids meant, but I assume that 3 spades was not invitational. With regular partners, this would be an invitational sequence, and I would, of course, accept with Jacek's hand. I believe that this treatment is common among North American experts. There are other North American experts, however, who would not open the North hand with a weak 2. These people play a style in which a weak 2 bid at favorable vulnerability is primarily a destructive device. This style, the actual hand that Jacek held would be too good for a weak 2 bit given the vulnerability. They would either pass or open one spade with Jacek's hands. So it's about 2 spades and 1 spade, yes. Keith could not open 2 spade too strong or 1 spade too weak. He therefore passed. This feels like the 3 bears, yes. Okay, 1 heart, yes. 4 spade is an all-important virtue of being called. Canada lost another imp to lead by 15.5 with 8 deals to go. Nobody was vulnerable. Jacek on my left opened 1 spade. Enjoy overcalled 2 diamonds. Michał passed and it was my turn. Yeah, I would pass. Yeah, okay, I mean, then I guess you bid 3 diamonds, but I don't know. Okay. In retrospect, I think I should have passed. I had so few high card points that I knew Joey had a big hand, but I did not like the look of my hand for playing either 3 no trump or 5 diamonds. I should have known that if I raised to 3 diamonds, then Joey would likely bid again, and that we would get a minus score. Yeah, check passed and Joey bid 3 spades. At this point I was thinking I will consider it a victory if we do not get doubled wherever we end up. The fact that I should have... that what I should have expected to come next made me feel this way. Illustrates the poorness of my 3 diamond call. I mean, okay, you can talk about this as well, but I mean, it's still... I think talking about both of those things is pretty much the same. I mean, if you're doing something with too few points, then that's why you expect that something bad is gonna happen. So I don't know. It's also true. You sometimes have something where you just bid it because you think that it will annoy the opponents, for example, and in that case it makes sense. But yeah, okay, let's try to carry on. I don't know, 3 no trump? Probably not, right? 4 diamonds? I sort of had a spade stopper, but I did not think that it was likely that Joy had 9 tricks in his own hand. If my hand was all that he needed to make 3 no trump, then he would have bid his hand differently. I therefore retreated to 4 diamonds and hoped for the best. Felt like we should have been able to find a way to go plus on this deal. Minus 100 was no disaster, but it was not a good score. Adam and Cesare did get a nice plus score for Poland. Action started the same way, but Cesare smartly passed where I had bid 3 diamonds. Keith with a tough balancing problem with Jacek's cards, just a double. Gord eventually played in 3 hearts. How do you get to 3 hearts? Just double 2 hearts and then from north you have to pass, right? I mean, you're not gonna bid 2 spades, or I don't really get it, but... Or is it because West competed to 3 diamonds and then South bid 3 hearts? Who knows? Next board was exactly the time of deal we wanted. 4 spades is easy to bid and easy to make. We bid it and we made it. So with Adam and Cesare. My hand was unsuitable for an immediate 4 club splinter because of the disparity between my hearts and diamonds. My delayed 4 clubs showed not only singleton club and spade support, but my trick source in diamonds as well. Yeah, I don't think people do this anymore, but I think it has some merits. 5-4 or 6-4. but I don't think this can show 4-card support, so that's the disadvantage. And Shikemiha got to a normal 2 spades. It turned out that there was nothing that we could do on defense to defeat 2 spades, but I think I made a poor play on defense. King of diamonds. Dummy came down. I did not give the problem enough thought. In retrospect, I think I should have overtaken the ace and with the ace to play a heart. Jacek still would have made 2 spades after that start, but if the ace and king of clubs had been switched, that defense would defeat the contract. Instead, I chose to encourage diamond with an upside down 6. The queen of diamonds, and again, I probably should have overtaken to switch to hearts, but I played a spot card. The suit preference 9 of diamonds, saying I suspect that I have already blown the defense partner. Choi did the best he could by exiting on trump. Jacek won in dummy. I accurately played a club to his ace before he surrendering a club trick to Joy's king. There was a club winner in dummy to take care of one of Jacek's hearts. We scored 2 heart tricks in the end for -110. I was lucky that my missed defense had not cost. I mean, it would have been nice to get a little more explanation here, but I guess it's still a part score deal, so he didn't want to get too much into it. 5 boards left, and this is where we're left on a cliffhanger. Yeah, I'm gonna just open up the other one. I make a little break here and come back. Next board was a scary movie for me. Sorry, so these are the last 5 boards, and then I will have to look for something else to do. But 3 no trump after opening with a strong no trump, denying a major over Stamen and accepting Miha's 3 diamonds invitation. Jay's opening lead was the 2, 4th best. Jacek called for dummy's queen. I had to make a signal. Joy and I play upside down attitude and count signals, but we have no firm rules about when to give attitude and when to give count. Unfortunately, my count and attitude did not match. If I wanted to give a count signal, I would follow with a 6. If I wanted to give an attitude signal, I would play the 8, discouraging to deny the jack. I mean, before reading further, I think that's a common rule is like if the dummy has the queen, then queen or higher, then you should give attitude. But I think like expert players would try not to have that agreement. I like clear agreements about defense. Even if then they're not optimal, then I still want us to be on the same page most of the time. But anyway, if I wanted to give an attitude signal, I would play my spade 8, discouraging to deny the jack. It was not clear what Joy needed to know here. If he had the ace 4th, he might need to know my spade count, but if he had king 4th, he would need to know my spade attitude. This is also interesting. So East apparently has 4, dummy has 2, and North denied 4 spades. So it's only about whether North has 2 or 3 spades, right? So West is known to have 4 or 5. So then I'm wondering if I just discourage, isn't that good enough? If I had 5 spades, wouldn't I always encourage? Since who cares who has the jack, isn't it? Like, well, so if North has jack, ace jack low, is that what they're talking about? Ace jack low, I guess so. But if I have 5, I would always just encourage, isn't it? Like, why? If I have 5, then who? Yeah, that's what I was asking. If I have 5, who cares who has the jack? it never comes into play, right? My partner will have the king, and he can just cash it, and then he will see who has the jack. I don't really. We do not think for a long time before signaling. One of our rules is when in doubt, give count. I'm not sure. Just play the. Anyway. Easy for me to say, sitting here with my pajama and coffee, but yeah, I think it's just better to give to just discourage. Anyway, that's great. It's a great story. Let's try to go on. Jacek followed with an interesting 9. Diamond. Do I play the 9? I wonder. So it's like, is Joy is ducking from king third or so? Is it a 10? Yeah. Ah, okay. So East is ducking from ace king. So diamonds were dead. I could see that Jacek's only chance would to make 3-no trump would be to win a lot of tricks in the other 3 suits. The last thing I wanted was for Joy to lead another spade into Jacek's possible ace jack 9. It's nothing to do with upside down or right side up. It denies the jack. I thought the 10 would tell Joy my exact spade holding. Hopefully he would have enough information about the hand to come up with the winning defense. He did just that when he switched the hard 10, ducked in dummy and ducked to me. Ducked by me to Jacek's jack. Club. Showed an even number of clubs. Yeah, now you can play a spade through, right? And the ace of hearts. Ah, you're trying to tell me you should play the ace of hearts before doing this, but ace of hearts. You can start with 3-2-3-5 with the exact honor layout that existed. Ace of hearts was not technically necessary, but it had the effect of simplifying the hand for Joy. Leading the ace of hearts was not technically necessary, yes. Shifted back to spades. Joy won the king. Catch the ace of diamonds. Not away from my keyboard, but okay. He cashed the ace of spades, ace of diamonds for the setting trick. Very good. I don't quite see the danger, but is it something to do with north? It's some kind of end play in diamonds. Is that it? Yeah, is it? Spade return looks harmless at first glance, but watch what would have happened. Yes. I have to admit I still don't see it. Around the clubs, yes. It's simply that East will maybe pitch. I need to make. I don't. West. Okay. But yeah, but I mean here you can still pitch a spade, right? I mean it's. Oh wait, like whatever you do, you can always just play it this way, right? and play a heart. Yeah, so whatever he pitches, you can pitch the spade or heart or whatever. It doesn't matter. Norse just gets 9 tricks. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm not really in the mood of I'm not really in the mindset of solving problems. I'm more like just reading, more like kibitzing here. Yeah, even the best British players will make plenty of mistakes when given the chance. My defense had the advantage of making it impossible for Joy to go wrong. There are a lot of instructive points. Joy's first round dog was also a very nice player. Yes. Joy and I do not play Smith, but that convention would not have helped. Smith is a trick 2 signal, and my trick 2 play was a singleton. I really liked our plus 100. For one thing, it was possible that Keith and Gord might play in the diamond part score. Even if they played in 3-0 trump, the defense had not been easy, and perhaps Adam and Cesare would slip up and allow 3-0 trump to make. Yeah, right. Keith and Gord bit to 3-0 trump and won the same 8 tricks for minus 100, another push board. Canada still ahead by 8.5 imps, 4 deals left. Joy and I reached a normal 3-0 trump, and we normally went down after Mihal's normal spade lead. Joy knocked out the ace of clubs, but had a flight of fancy in the endgame to fail by an extra trick. We were minus 100 and lost 2 imps when, as expected, Adam and Cesare had gone down only 1 for minus 50 and 3-0 trump. The lead was down to 6.5 imps, and there were 3 boards left to play. The third last deal was exciting. Only our side was vulnerable, and Joy opened 1 club. Mihal overcalled 1 diamond, and I bid 2 hearts, a fit showing jump according to our partnership. That is a forcing bid that shows at least 5 hearts, at least 4 clubs, and at least invitational values. Those of you who have been following this series will have seen the fit showing jump before. As I've said, I do not normally play fit showing jumps, and I do not really claim to understand them. Joy loves fit jumps, and that's good enough for me. I think I learned something about fit showing jumps, however, in the course of this tournament. It is best if they are either made on limit race hands or on very strong hands. Do not make them on in-between hands. I don't know. Never heard this before. In other words, when you make a fit showing jump, you should either be willing to relinquish the control of the auction immediately or be willing to take control of the auction at a later point in the bidding. Joy and I have never discussed this principle, but I suspect that he would agree with me. Still, I don't claim to know much about fit jumps. I don't know if my 2 heart was a good bid or not. Yeah, but I see what he means, yes, but I mostly think of fit jumps as advancing an overcall or so, but yeah, should bid 2 spades and Joy jump to 5 clubs. Michal competed with 5 spades. It was my turn to call. It felt like there were an awful lot of imps on the line. I don't know, 1 more? There's just too many ways that this call could work out. And 6 clubs was passed out. A bid for 6 spades. I doubled, and 6 spades double was the final contract. Joy led a heart, and I won the first 3 tricks. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Again, it's you're red on white, and you can gamble a little on slam because your opponent's passing out a red slam is a gamble itself, right? So your opponents will very, very often save over vulnerable slams, which means that you can try to bluff them a little. So took the first 3 tricks. Continue the fourth round of hearts. Yeah, just in case East has some, I don't know, some jack-ish. I'm not sure what exactly the holding could be, but stiff queen, no. Queen low, you get a trick no matter what. Yeah, jack low, I think. Rocking the queen. Rocking the club in dummy. Drawing trump. Diamond finesse worked. My first instinct, how much was it in the end? Plus 300. My first instinct was to like this result. After all, 5 clubs was the limit of this hand our way. I had managed to beat par, but there was room for something to go wrong. Perhaps Gord, with holding his Michal hand, would not unreasonably choose to preempt with 2 diamonds or 3 diamonds over 1 club. Spade fit might never be found. Our teammates might sell out for 5 clubs for minus 600. It turned out that I had nothing to worry about. Gord had overcalled 1 diamond, our teammates had found their spade fit, and not knowing who could make what, also chose to sacrifice in 6 spades after Adam and Cesare reached 6 clubs. The play was identical. Canada still led by 6.5 imps, and there were 2 boards left. Second to last board was no fun at all to me. I was the declarer in a vulnerable 3-0 trump, and Jacek led the jack of hearts. I won the first trick, a questionable move. I led the diamond. Michal played the jack, and I successfully finessed the queen. Probably would have been better for me if the spade finesse had not won, but Michal smoothly ducked his doubleton king. Played the second round of diamonds. And Michal produced the king of diamonds. I let him hold the trick. He cleverly got out with the 3 and I won the ace. So he got kind of tricked. Now I guess a spade finesse that lost to the king. Roof subsequently fell in. Michal cashed the 10 of diamonds. I stood with the queen. I won the king. And tried the ace of spades. Jacek controlling the 4th round of spades. The ace of spades was the last trick that I took. So it's down 3. I told you that this hand wasn't much fun. The only good news about this result was that Adam and Cesare also ready to go down to 3-0 trump, and they also ready to go down. Fortunately, that's what happened. Cesare, playing 3-0 trump from the east side, played spades for 4 winners and came close to making his contract. In the end, he was only one down for minus 100. Poland won 5 imps. Canada led by only 1.5 imps going into the last board. I picked up my cards for the last deal. I was hoping for an easy hand. I thought that we had probably lost a little on the set, but it felt like we still rated to be in the lead. My hope was for a flat board faded when I looked at my hand. The big red 2 suitor. Was there going to be another high level decision? I didn't know, but first I had to make a low level decision. I guess with this disparity in suit quality, maybe just 1 heart. I chose to open 1 heart despite my longer diamond suit. Yes. Minimum nature of my hand made 1 diamond followed by 2 heart reverse unthinkable, and 1 diamond and 2 diamonds with risk losing the heart suit completely. Yes, hearts being stronger. Yes. Introduce my second suit with 2 diamonds, and the opponent soon bid to 4 spades. What card would you lead? Maybe a diamond? Ace of hearts? Yeah, maybe. You don't really know what to do, so you might as well take your ace. Yeah. So south is the weak hand here, right? So that's why probably Michal has like south probably doesn't have the king. Yeah. Ace of hearts won the first trick. I'm playing the second round of hearts to dummy's king. Thought for a few seconds and then cast dummy's ace of spades. Jack. Miha thought for what seemed like an eternity, so Miha broke the rule what Fred was talking about, that he doesn't like declare thinking during a trick. Before playing small from his hand, I gratefully won the queen and had to decide what to do. Jay had the 10 of spades and was in a position to over-up the dummy if I played another heart. His king of clubs would then be the setting trick. Of course, I did not know who had the 10 of spades. I knew I needed Joy to have something good in clubs. But if he lacked a 10, he would need 2 club tricks. Might Miha be able to end play him in this case? I eventually decided that the low heart return could never cost, but it took me a while to figure this out. It must have been dramatic on view graph. Joy over-off the dummy with his 10. And later won the king of clubs to defeat 4 spades by 1 trick. We were plus 50 and it felt a lot like I had just won my first gold medal. Of course, I did not want to appear to be too excited when we compared our scores. I did not know that we had won the match, and I was obviously pleased with my results. It would probably make Keith and Gord feel terrible if it turned out that we had lost. As you already know, we were ahead by 1.5 imps going into the last deal. The comparison was tense, but when Keith read out plus 420 on the last board, it was clear we had won the event. Gord had received a diamond lead against 4 spades at the other table. He finessed the queen and made the same spade play as Miha. He later lost the ace and the king to make 4 spades exactly. It's weird, right? You were gonna play ace and the jack, finessing the other way around. Yeah, it wins if West has 10 low. Yeah, you're finessing East to have the queen third, but that's still quite unlikely. I don't know, but of course West a bit hearts and diamonds, so it also feels a bit like East has longer spades, but West opened the biddings. I'm not sure. Anyway. Later lost ace of hearts and king of clubs to make 4 spades exactly. Canada won 10 imps on the last board, but it turned out that we did not need them. Canada had defeated Poland to win the gold medal by 11.5 imps. What happened next was that a whole bunch of Canadians became very excited. It was not just members of our team. Most of their wives, the member of the Canadian women's team, Canadian Bridge Federation President Ray Lee, various other Canadian supporters, including my friends George Gitelman and Eric Kokish, also got into the act. Canada had never won a gold medal in a team event of this stature before. This was a great moment for Canadian Bridge. Yes, a few months earlier was the Risinger. This win felt much better. For one thing, it was not completely surprising that the team I had played on in the Risinger won the event. What happened in Salt Lake City was completely surprising. In addition, a controversial appeal decided the Risinger and left some very bad feelings in the air. There was nothing except good feelings in the air right then in Salt Lake City. Our captain and leader, Nick Gartaganis, had done a magnificent job steering the ship. His task was made easier because all our members had played their best bridge and all of us had behaved like gentlemen, and there had been no acrimony between partners and teammates. Still, being captain is never easy or fun, and Nick had a lot of difficult decisions to make. The fact that he was able to both make effective decisions while playing as well as he did speaks volumes for Nick's bridge ability and character. Thanks to Nick, Peter, Keith, and Gord for helping us for helping to make the 2002 IOC Grand Prix. One for the highlight trios, and a special thanks to Joy Silver, my dear partner and dear friend. Joy was the one who really taught me to play this game. This win would not have meant quite as much if I had been playing with anyone else. Here are 2 important things that I learned from this experience. I had suspected that these things were true, but it was nice to get confirmation. There are a lot of bridge players out there who on any given deal are capable of playing as well as any world-class player. What separates the world-class players from the masses is consistency. All of the players on my team were experts, but before the IOC Grand Prix, most of us, as well as most of us, would not be considered world-class. However, those players rose to the occasion. They played as well as they possibly could. It turned out that this was good enough to beat Italy and Poland. This win should be an inspiration to all aspiring bridge champions. It is possible to be the best. All you have to do is not make very many mistakes and hope that you make more good decisions than the opponent. This is much easier said than done, of course, but you should take comfort in knowing that it is possible. That it is possible to win playing a natural system with very few agreements. Joy and I played very few conventions, and we had spent no more than half an hour discussing our system. As far as I can remember, we did not have a single bidding misunderstanding. We had a lot of big hands to bid, and I felt that overall we had done well. I would want to add that this is very nice to say, but you need to have a bunch of like kind of implicit agreements, even if like if you know that you're both from the same area or so, then you have like a rough idea of what your partner will take your bids as. And it's still like it's not as simple as just saying like, oh yeah, well we only spent half an hour. Yeah, you spent half an hour discussing your system, but you spent like, I don't know, 20 years playing either with each other or with similar partners, with similar understandings, with similar ideas. So I think that's more kind of more important to mention. Um, because like, let's say if I play in Germany, then I have some ideas of what Germans usually take bids as, but I just never completely have this confidence. And I think if like two random German experts sit down, they have a much more of a chance to understand each other's bids than I do. And um, I usually get along better with, I don't know, let's say American experts, because I learned bridge from Americans more or less, or on an American forum, so I have that background more, and I will just feel more confident that we're on the same page. In theory, the IOC Grand Prix was a tournament where only simple systems were allowed, but in practice this meant that some of the partnerships could not play their preferred two-level opening bids. The Poles still played their Polish one clubs. There was an Australian pair playing the symmetric 2Ms. Really, there were several precision pairs, including Berkowitz and Cohen from the United States, playing a very sophisticated version. System is not what bridge is all about. Joy introduced me to this radical idea almost 10 years ago, and now I know that it's true. Winning is about making fewer errors and better guesses than the opponent. For me, playing a natural system is very liberating, and this allows me to focus on the other, more important aspects of the game. Try it sometime. It is a fun way to play, and it works. I would say I agree. It's just that playing a natural system and playing a simple system is not synonymous. So you can just play an artificial system but still keep it simple. Like just one club is 16 plus, and one diamond is 2 plus, and yeah, you can just have a precision system written up in 2 pages, and it does not mean that it will be somehow more complex than a natural system. And the same goes for natural systems. It can be very, very complex as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the series. I already got some feedback. I definitely enjoyed this. I'm glad that I just had this idea just before they retired this web version. Maybe it's still available somewhere, but I don't think it will be available as an interactive lesson like this. So, yeah. I see what I'm gonna do. There was a request for this bridge in the village, I think it's called, or something. I'm gonna do it for the next video, and then I think I will stop with these, and I'll just think for about something else. Now I have a few days head start, so I'll see what I can cook up. See you tomorrow.